a philanthropist. Every vacuum must be filled, but what I will say is that he has set the bar very high, and he has told us that it is possible to push beyond that.
One man changed a ripple effect, the whole ocean is shaking. So I'm going to say to you, Herbert, you started a lot, and you've left us with a lot of work to do.
We are family. His father was my guardian during the Nigeria-Biafra war. So was his mother. Mother still calls me Eyen, my Pekin. And you know, they are very aged. It will be painful for them. We can only pray God to give them divine comfort and consolation.
While alive, Mr. Wigwe was a dominant figure in the financial sector, but in death, many believe his greatest legacy would be felt in education through the Wigwe University.
The university he has left behind was because of his passion for education. He helped and educated a lot of people. Like I said, so many are enshrined in his heart because he sent so many to the educational citadels across the world.
Coming back home to establish one of the university that would have been the best, and is still going to be the best.
Personally, he had gone to televisions to personally advertise the school and all that therein contained, and he just said that it's going to be the pride of the continent, and we're losing that in a split second.
After the service, the deceased were buried in a private ceremony that was attended by close family members. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Isiokpo.
And still on the Wigwe's, Isiokpo community came alive to witness a huge presence of visiting dignitaries, families, and friends from far and wide. As the remains were buried in a private ceremony, TVC News spoke with some close friends and associates who described Herbert Wigwe's philanthropic gestures as second to none. Our correspondent there, Joseph Kunde, has more details on this.
The remains of the late CEO of Access Holdings, Herbert Wigwe, his wife and his son lie in state at the church for a combined funeral service. At the airport, returning from the burial, close friends and associates shared the remarkable experiences they had with Herbert Wigwe and the legacies left behind.
We take comfort, solace in the fact that Herbert lived a great life. He's done so much, his legacy will live forever. The Herbert Wigwe University set up, I think it's one of the biggest legacies. And Herbert was a great man, a patriot, and someone that will live in our hearts forever. His soul, and his wife's soul, and his son's soul, and the Mogubaja's soul, may their souls rest in perfect peace in Jesus' name.
The fleet of private jets at the Port Harcourt International Airport and the caliber of persons boarding them is a testament that he indeed left his footprints in the sands of time.
He has been able to do with his partner Ike, taking what you can classify as a failed bank and making it today among the 3 biggest banks in Nigeria after the legacy, and building it across Africa. You can say across the world, and other endeavors like the Wigwe University, including caring and supporting thousands of people. That is which is most important. For me, the care is most important and is done across the country. You'll be remembered for that.
Herbert Wigwe will be remembered, amongst other things, for his philanthropic gestures as well as being an ace banking executive. Joseph Kunde, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Now talking security matters, the Sokoto State Police Command has confirmed the abduction of 15 children and one elderly woman in Garin Bakuso village in Gada local government area of Sokoto State. The spokesman of the Police Command, ASP Ahmed Rufai, who confirmed this in a telephone interview with TVC News, says the armed bandits invaded the village at about 1 a.m. yesterday. ASP Rufai mentioned that the Sangaya Islamic School belongs to one Malam Laman Abubakar, and the elderly woman who was abducted, was also taken from the school. You would recall that the Sokoto State government on Saturday held a ceremony for the passing out of its community guards corps aimed at tackling banditry and other crimes in the states. And staying with security concerns, President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to spare no effort in ensuring the safe return of students kidnapped by bandits at a school in Kuriga, Kaduna State. Vice President Shetima visited the state to meet with the relatives of the kidnapped children. Our correspondent there, Lupe Assam, has more details on this.
The Vice President Kashim Shetima is in Kaduna to commiserate with the families of the school children and stakeholders from Kuringa community, and also to rekindle hopes of a return of the children. He says President Tinubu has instructed security agencies to ensure they bring back the kidnapped students. Vice President Shetima conveyed the President's directive, insisting decisive actions must be taken by security agencies.
He rest assured that the President is equal to the task. The very essence of the existence of government is to secure the lives and properties of the citizenry. He has tasked the entire security architecture in the country to go all out and get back our kids safely.
I would like to again thank His Excellency the Vice President for coming to commiserate with the people for all the effort the government under President Bola Tinubu are doing, working with us, working with the families of the kidnapped children as well as the security agencies.
Governor Obasani urged the media to be cautious in their report to protect the interests of the abducted children. This advisory comes after the Kaduna State government was ruffled by newspaper reports alleging that private negotiators have been contracted to interface with the bandits and secure the release of the children.
Let us be much more circumspect. Let us be very, very selective in our choice of reporting for the interests of our kids that are not currently with us.
At this juncture, I would like to also caution the media to be very careful in the way they make their own reports. Because at this critical time, we have to avoid politicizing this very unfortunate incident. What is important to us is the safety of the children. And of course, we cannot allow anyone to jeopardize the safety of the children that were kidnapped.
There are high hopes that these efforts by the federal and state governments will yield the desired results soon. Lupe Assam, TVC News, Kaduna.
Meanwhile, the living condition of children and women displaced in Plateau State has again been brought to the fore with a charge for more intervention to better their lives. A correspondent in Plateau State, Funum Joshua, tells us more in this report.
The living conditions of these women at this temporary IDP camp is a serious cause for concern from stakeholders in the state. Many of them here are still traumatized after the gruesome murder of their loved ones during the deadly attack on their communities. More than 10,000 women and victims of militiamen invasions of communities in Plateau State are in their need of support to get back their livelihood. This year's International Women's Day theme is Invest in Women. This event is to commemorate the day in just the state capital and was dominated by conversations about the living conditions of displaced women.
So we're calling on government to do a feasibility study, find out what these women lost and be able to give something back to them so that they can rebuild their lives once again. It is not about just celebrating one day. International Women's Day is not just one day. It is every day for a woman, and it is every day for the Plateau woman. The Plateau woman is not a lazy woman. Even those at the IDP camps, they are not lazy, but it is circumstances and situation that has put them there. And we trust and believe in the ability of our governor to be able to relocate them back to their respective ancestral homes.
Please help empower these women. Empower them economically. Let them go to their land and farm. And they should provide security for them. If they are yet to take them back to their homes, they should provide security for them to go to their land so that they can farm.
We have a couple of number of women in the IDPs that are suffering. Nobody to cater for them. They lack the basic social amenities, and the farming season is fast approaching. We want government to do something.
In an event to commemorate the day, the wife of the state governor briefed journalists on the empowerment plan for the women in the state.
Plateau State government, through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, has commenced the training of over 100 widows in 3 vocational skills acquisition, which include tailoring, catering, and knitting. They will be given modern equipment and tangible startup capital.
While these women gathered here are happily celebrating the International Women's Day, those at the various internally displaced camps have no cause to do this. It is important for relevant authorities to intensify more efforts to betterment the life of these victims. Joshua, TVC News, Jos.